What makes a video game stand out? Its high-octane action, deeply engaging combat, perhaps a grounded historical narrative with a supernatural twist? In Wuchang Fallen Feather's case, it's all three and then some. Soulslikes are a dime a dozen nowadays, and I have played my fair share of them. So for me to say that this game excels in its mechanics is not to be taken lightly, even if it imitates some of the worst impulses of the genre. They say that if you have played one, you have played them all. Punishing enemies, bonfires that reset the world, and extremely challenging bosses are all staples of a Soulslike that make an appearance in Wuchang Fallen Feathers. However, what developer Leenzee created in this Chinese-inspired adventure is the successful amalgamation of these elements without feeling like a knockoff. And it all starts with the presentation. Set during China's late Ming dynasty, you take the role of Wuchang, a female warrior suffering from amnesia. As you leave the cave from which you woke up, there is a healer from a Buddhist temple that is right outside awaiting your arrival. You find out about a plague known as the feathering that is corrupting the land. Personally contracting the disease, you agree to help to find a cure and face the myriad dangers in this path of corrupted gods and monsters. Wuchang Fallen Feathers benefits from being so truthful to its setting. The striking vistas are breathtaking from the get-go. Mountains upon mountains over the horizon, the intricately designed natural biomes are all beautiful to explore. From the imposing Chinese guardian lions to authentic monasteries of the time, the art direction of this game is a treat to discover. Clearly taking a cue from Stellar Blade, the fearless main character is pleasing to the eye, but it feels rather tasteful considering the many fashionable wardrobe choices. And what's most important, it is a joy to play. There are 5 weapons you can choose in Wuchang Fallen Feathers: spear, sword, dual blades, war club, and axe. Each of them is flexible enough to adapt to each player's gameplay style. The war club and axe, for example, take somewhat longer to attack but inflict more damage and break enemies' poise more easily. Spear users can keep their distance, and sword masters move quickly but need more hits to down an enemy. With each of the 25 weapons available having a distinct skill, the game encourages you to mix and match your playstyle with the option to swap between 2 weapons on the fly. Consulting a martial arts choreographer for its animation, Wuchang Fallen Feathers undoubtedly is a labor of love. The clarity with which your character moves feels satisfying, especially considering the combat rewards players' perfect dodges with a magical ability that lets you perform powerful skills faster. The sprawling skill tree allowing for specialized builds is rich in detail to ensure every playthrough is personalized. Unlocking a variety of moves known as disciplines can change the flow of battle to your advantage. These are most welcome in the case of some highly difficult but iconic boss fights that are spread throughout the journey. As an avid gamer myself, something I always look for in a review is to try to pinpoint the feel of a game, and I should be upfront about Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Sekiro, this is not. While the trailers make it seem like all-out action, in execution, it is more of a mix between that and Neo, which is to say that it is a devilish work of its own. Methodical, demanding, and precise, the gameplay experience prides itself on learning the nimble movesets of every enemy. Unlike other Souls-likes currently on the market, there are no difficulty options here. Fret not, as I do not consider myself a pro, and I was able to defeat every boss with a bit of patience, tenacity, and grinding. And I'm sure you will too if you are willing to take on this challenge. Because the perfect dodge makes you invulnerable to all foes' attacks briefly, learning to anticipate all telegraphed attacks is paramount, and quite enjoyable as a matter of fact. Wuchang has a dynamic offering of extravagant bosses to keep things interesting at all times. Humans, demons, and everything in between. The progressive struggle of knowing every upcoming attack is natural. With even gimmick bosses showing up, I was worried this would cheapen the experience, but I am glad to report that even those are fun. Sadly, not all is. At this point in time, it is expected for newer video games to learn from past mistakes, and while Wuchang Fallen Feathers does this for the most part, it also sins of mimicking the worst elements of Dark Souls. The over-reliance on placing weak enemies that will push you off a cliff is a tad overkill, so I recommend that players have a bit of a sense of humor because the number of traps is ludicrous. The level design is intuitive, but the animation while climbing ladders is painfully slow. Some distances as well become more of a trek than an exciting endeavor. Repetition in Soulslikes is not new, but when a game is strong in other departments, such as the secret Latin level design and riveting boss fights, it is hard not to see where it is lacking. Enemy variety, while increasing as you progress through each biome, leaves something to be desired. The tired old warrior doing the same moveset, trying to make a dent, will feel jokingly easy halfway through the game. And the music, while a highlight during the big encounters, is so subdued during the moment-to-moment action that it becomes forgettable. These quirks do not lessen the experience, but they certainly detract from an overall remarkable game. Thankfully, the narrative itself is less cryptic than Dark Souls, as every NPC and their agonizing hardships are straightforward. Mature themes discussed in some situations are commendably portrayed, mainly due to the relentless pursuit of power and the consequences of it. From the Buddhist statues to its Taoist themes, Wuchang is firmly rooted in China's historical culture. But other than its setting, everything will be familiar to longtime players of the Souls-like genre, recreating its best and worst moments, including a Blighttown-esque area. Wuchang Fallen Feathers hardly misses a beat, deftly carving its own adventure without leaning too hard into the usual tropes. Anybody looking for a great challenge should look no further.